G'day guys, Luke here. So I just thought I'd throw together a quick YouTube video of Loki's new enclosure build. As you can see, he's not really outgrowing this enclosure just yet, but with summer on the approach I plan to feed him a little bit more and grow him up a little bit, so I figured now's a better time than any to really get him into his forever home. But yeah, stick around, hope you enjoy.
So I started throwing together some panels of this enclosure, keeping a few things in mind. Obviously, some ventilation over the water feature inside of the enclosure, somewhere to drain some of the water from with a hose. Also, I wanted to put a window in there just so there's a bit of natural light for Loki to see. The other thing that I really had to make sure with this enclosure is obviously being a water monitor, or any monitor in fact that likes high humidity, is I had to make sure the timber was well sealed. So I did that with a product that I got from Bunnings, which was just a pond sealer. I used the sandstone colour for the base, just because it's got a bit of grit in it, so it kind of works well. Over the top I then used some acrylic paint mixed in with some more pond sealer, just to kind of give it an actual more of a look that I wanted. I didn't exactly like the colour of the sandstone, even though I've got it in a lot of my enclosures already. Just decided to go with something different. So here you can actually see some of the shelves that I've painted up into the grey. You just use a jigsaw to roughly cut them as well. For this enclosure as well, for the water feature, I'm actually using one of the Reptile 1 4-foot turtle tanks. So I managed to pick up an extra display from work for very cheap.
You're not happy about being left in the dark, are you, mate? I just pulled his LED light out to put into his new enclosure. At least you got a heated pool. You'll be right. Poor thing. Making you YouTube favours.
Yeah.
Thanks for the help, Pete.
So I was actually pretty lucky. I did have some minor complications with getting the glass door tracks in just because the roof was sagging a little bit, but I managed to get away with that with a backup plan that I'd already kind of thought that I may have needed, and I just used a big piece of gum tree as a centre brace, so not only does it look like a decorative feature, but it also acts as a brace just to support the roof and stop those glass tracks kind of pinching down on the glass panels. So here you can just see a little nest box that I've made for him. It's got some heat cord in between a couple of tiles. Going to throw some sand in there and just heat it up on a thermostat to about 30 odd degrees. So a little bit of an update. Still going today. Enclosure's looking good. So you got Loki's future basking area up there. 4-foot turtle tank there. More basking areas. I'll flip it around so you can see more. It's got a basking ledge there. This is going to be a nest slash hide box. A little bit of land area. Got a trusty bit of gum tree in here just to kind of support the length of the enclosure. I was having a bit of a problem with it sagging and kind of dropping down through here and not letting me get the glass panels in. Another ledge over there. A window for him there to look out into the natural sunlight. This is going to have a big ledge across here that'll kind of hide all of the back filter and stuff for the fish tank. And then you able to see him through there. I'm going to put the water level up pretty much level to where that water's coming out of that spout. A little bit of an access bung for draining and everything. Alright, so we've got a heat panel over that ledge there that'll probably set to around 30 degrees, 32 degrees, just to offer some different temperatures. Nice LED strip, it's an aquasonic strip, real natural lighting. Down in the nest box we've also got a heat cord routed through tiles, which I'll put some photos in at some point. And yeah, that's connected to a thermostat again, another Habitat thermostat set to about 31 degrees. Just to kind of get that ambient temperature up in there and give him somewhere warm at night to kind of sit if he doesn't want to sleep in his water like usual. But yeah, it's coming together. So we'll just quickly add that I've got this large stone here just to put over the hole on his nest box, just for if I need to keep him inside of there for any reason while I'm maintaining the enclosure. So this was actually the first day that Loki got put into his enclosure. This is prior to any of the fake plants and stuff being added in. Obviously I just wanted to get him in there as soon as possible, just to give him the free range of it all and get used to it as quick as possible. And yeah, he didn't waste any time to kind of get used to it all. As you can see, he's happily eating within 24 hours. And yeah, he's definitely happily swimming around and loving life in this new enclosure. So I will explain just a little bit more as to why this clip in particular is very, very important. So as you can see here, I'm actually feeding Loki off some rather large pink girly looking feeding tongs. This is for a couple of reasons. Mainly it's for him to actually associate the pink tongs with him being fed. So these tongs are just for him, no other animal that I've got here, and just so we can kind of form a bit of a bond over this time. Now, I've owned this animal for about 18 months now, and never once has he actually eaten in front of me in that time. He's only ever eaten in front of the GoPro when I've left it in his cage for a few hours at a time. So this was a little bit of groundbreaking news for Loki and my relationship, but I did manage to trick him into it a little bit using his favourite treat, which is actually just a bit of microwaved eggs. And don't worry, I definitely cleaned up the water after he made a good mess of it.